Hey, my name is Brent here on Cloudy with the Chance of Meeples. Today we're going to be looking at the 2 to 6 player game from Calliope Games, a push your luck game in which you'll be, opening up safes hoping to get the most gems and the most loot, all while watching out for those danger tokens. Today we're looking at the Mansky caper. Cue the thunder. So the radar overview for the Mansky caper looks something like this. A game for 2 to 6 players in which each player is going to be trying to open safes and collect the most gems and the most loot and getting away with the most riches at the end. And this is how you play. You set up 5 different rooms. There is a whole bunch of different rooms in the game, and you randomly pick 5 of them, and you put one of these safes on. I will say this, these are the safes, the Broken Token version, upgraded Mansky Caper safes from Broken Token. So they are very nice. It comes with 5 just cardboard safes, but I felt I wanted to upgrade to these nice wooden safes. Each player randomly gets a character as well as their little character card, and this character card has a little bit about the name and who they are, Sergeant Spike, and a little bit of a little backstory as well as his special ability. Each player has a special ability which I'll get to momentarily. Each player also gets a loot bag and a call in a favor token. So on your turn, it's pretty simple. You'll do one of 3 things. You'll either stay in the room that you're in and open the safe. Second thing you can do is move to another location, move to another room. If you have a key, you can unlock it and pull something from the safe, or you can move to an already unlocked room. Or the third thing you can do is go to the Getaway Card and stash all your gems and money that you've already collected. So what does that actually look like? So if I would stay in this room, say I'm Sergeant Spike, I would stay in this room, I'd shake up this little safe, and without looking, I would pull out a token. And as you can see in the great room here, you will, when you open or when you load the safe, you'll put 3 danger tokens, 4 gasp tokens, and 9 loot tokens. So I pulled one out, and it is 5 gems. At that point, I would split it with everybody in the room. So me and Frankie's in the room. So the player who is Frankie, I would give them 2 gems. I would give myself 2 gems. And then because you can't split 5 evenly 2 ways, 1 would go in the room. I'd put the loot on top of my loot bag, okay? If I would have pulled a gasp token instead, I would pull one of these cards and I would read out loud. They're kind of like, they could be bad, they kind of could be good, they could be good and bad. Let's show you this. Okay, so you find 1 gasp, you're feeling really lucky. Open the safe in this room. If it's a loot, its coin and gem value is tripled. If it's a key, keep it. If it's a gasp, discard it. If it's a danger, it's an automatic boom. So that would go to the bottom or the discard pile, and then I would draw another token. At that point, it would be, let's do that again. It would be a danger. According to that card, this room would automatically explode, which would be very unfortunate. I would lose all my gems back to the bank, as would Frankie. Everybody in the room would, have to move back to the Getaway Card, and it'd be the next player's turn. Let's just say that didn't happen. But let's just explain how these boom or danger tokens. If I would have not rolled that gasp card or whatever, and just this danger, it would go in the leftmost corner right there, and then you roll the die. At this point, it could be a thumbs up. That means nothing bad happens. It could be just a single dynamite. At that point, whoever rolled the die, they lose all their unstashed loot. So whatever is on top of their bag, they lose all that. If it's multiple dynamite, everybody in the room loses all their stuff that's unstashed. If it's an explosion, the whole room, again, explodes. And finally, if it's Al Mansky, that means everybody loses everything that's not stashed away, and everybody has to just chill, okay? So the game would then continue. Let's just say I move to the getaway card. First thing you can do is I can stay put, draw a token. Second thing I can do is I can move to a room, draw a token, or I can move to the getaway car and I could then stash any loot that I have on top of my bag inside my bag, kind of for safekeeping for the end of the game. I would just put whatever I have, put it there. So you'll notice you want to push your luck, you want to stay in rooms, hopefully by yourself, so you don't have to share with anybody, but then knowing that people may just move into your room and try to blow your stuff up and draw or pull tokens in there, hoping that maybe they can make you lose all your things. I did mention that everybody gets a call in the favor token. These can be used on any turn. So one per turn, and as I showed you, that each of these players have a special ability. Funny thing is about these special abilities is you can never use your own. So if I was Sergeant Spike, I would actually not be able to use this special ability. People would be calling in a favor for me to use my special ability for someone else. So then they would have to give me a call in the favor token if they still had one. So you'll want to kind of offer your assistance to help other people, but kind of just help yourself a little bit more. You can also use your call in the favor token if you ever start a turn with someone else at the getaway car. At that point, you call in the hey buddy, you discard your call in a favor token out of the game for good, and then you and that person dump all your stash loot on the table and you split it 50-50. So that's a way in which if you're maybe falling behind and you know someone is pulling ahead, you can do the hey buddy if you start your turn with a player at the getaway car and you share everything that both of you guys have. The game ends when either all the rooms have exploded, there's nothing left, or all players are starting their turn at the getaway car and they unanimously say, let's call it quits. And at that point, you then count up all your gems. Coins are worth 1. Any unused keys, which would be in these tokens, there's a whole bunch of them. Any unused key is worth 3, and any gem is worth 5. And then whoever has the most would be the winner of the Mansky Caper. On to the final forecast. So the final forecast for the Mansky Caper looks something like this. As you can see in the radar overview, rules and gameplay mechanics, pretty simple in this game. You're either staying in the room that you start off with, or start in, and opening the safe, pulling a token out, and then just resolving that, whether it's sharing the loot with yourself and others, or just yourself, or you're drawing one of those gasp cards, or you're rolling that danger die. That's pretty simple. So you're either doing that in the room that you start in, or you're moving to another room and doing the same thing, or you're going to the getaway car and you are then stashing all the loot that you have. So not many choices in this game, and I know Calliope Games pride themselves on games that have a high player count. This one is 2 to 6, as well as can be played with a wide range of ages. I've played this with my 5-year-old as well as my 8-year-old, and I've played this with my game group. I'll say this, my kids enjoyed this considerably more than my game group did. And so when I tell you what my thoughts are on it, keep that in mind. Okay, so when I've played with my kids, I've enjoyed this quite a bit, and I think part of the reason I've enjoyed this with my kids is because they get into the whole thing and they try to blow my stuff up all the time, and when they succeed they laugh and they're just laughing and smiling, and we're having a good time. When I would have played this with maybe my game group, you know, kind of that push your luck, take that is maybe a little bit too much. For my kids, I've stripped it down, and we don't play with the special abilities, but I will say I think maybe that's where this game kind of shines, with those special abilities. It wasn't necessarily for me and my game group, not to say it's a bad game. Let me move on. Like I said, with my kids, we just play moving around, not the hey buddy, splitting your loot with people. I haven't introduced that to them. They love the gasp cards, that it could be good, it could be bad, it could be a mix of good or bad or whatever it is. I think maybe some of those gasp cards are a little bit crazy, specifically the one, you draw one, and then the loot value is tripled. So, you draw the token with $10 or 10 loot, 10 coins, all of a sudden you have 30. That's pretty crazy. And I know, of course, people are going to want to, hey buddy you when you go to the Getaway Card, or they're going to come into your room right away and just try to blow your stuff up. So I think some of those gasp cards can be a little bit swingy. I think some of the special abilities could be a little bit swingy. I like it that the special abilities can't be used for yourself. So it's not like, some games you're like, oh, well, that special ability is way better than that person's, and they're going to win because of that. It's a little bit different in this game, and it's the only game I can think of off the top of my head where your special ability is something that you can't use, although you're going to want to offer your assistance. So even though yours may be more powerful than others, you're going to offer your special ability to get those favor tokens so that you can then, use other people's throughout the game. So you'll have those favor tokens going back and forth and around the table. So I think that's pretty cool, the nice little twist on it. But I haven't showed those to my kids. But back to the randomness. I think it's quite random because the safes are loaded randomly, and then those gasp cards, and then it's just a lot of luck, push your luck, and some people love push your luck. I know I've played this. My son, when he first started playing this, he would push his luck until he was almost in tears because he would get his stuff blown up because he just wanted to keep opening the safe again and again and again. And he's learned to, okay, I have a lot of stuff, I should go stash this. So I like that aspect with my kids. I like kind of teaching them probability. You can see how many tokens are in each room. And so as you take them out and put them on the room, you can teach, okay, there's this amount of tokens left and you've used this and this, or this many of loot tokens and this many gasps have come out, so this is how many of each are left. So you can start teaching probability. So I like that aspect of it. I've enjoyed this game a lot more with my kids. That's kind of the bottom line. I like the whole shaking the safe. My kids love that, shaking the safes and pulling one out, and just the tension that it builds. I've loved it with my kids. I haven't loved it as much with my game group. No fault to the game itself. That's just my opinion on it. So if you're looking for a push your luck game, one that does have some take that, and you can handle that take that, but a lot of randomness and a lot of push your luck, Mansky Caper might be one for you. If you really get into the theme and the whole gangster thing, there can be a lot of enjoyment out of that. I think it wasn't necessarily for my game group, but one that I've enjoyed with my kids. So that's what I think of the Mansky Caper. I'm giving it a 70% chance of meeples. So I think the presentation looks good. I like the wooden safes I've upgraded. A lot of components, the gems and all that. Good for my kids. Maybe not so good with my game group and with the adults that I play with in my life. So 70% chance of meeples for the Mansky Caper. My name is Brent. Check us out on Facebook. Cloudy with a chance of meeples. Remember, grab your umbrella. The forecast is cloudy with a chance of meeples.